Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this game of Team Yankee. Today we're trying something a little bit different by combining the armored and mechanized parts of the armies. Something I've never really tried before. I usually try to stick with either full tanks or full mechanized. And as you can see, the background is that lovely time of year when Santa comes and gives good children nuclear warheads. I think, at least. I don't really know. I only got cold when I was a kid. Let's look at the armies. First, having a look at the Soviet, my opponent's army here. We got a company of 7 T-72s. We've got ourselves 3 2S1 Carnations, 2 Hinds, 2 companies of 4 BMP-2s, 4 AK-74 teams, and 3 RPG teams, the battalion commander, and 3 recon BMP-2s. Now to have a look at the West Germans, my army. I have a mainly Panzer Grenadier force here. We got 3 platoons of 3 modders, 3 infantry teams, and 2 lawn teams. I also brought 3 Leopard 2s. The company commander in his modder, 2 Roland flak batteries, and 3 M109s. Adding up to 65 points. Now to have a look at the table. Now, the table will be, as you can see, this wintry landscape with a lot of rivers. The rivers will be treated as difficult going, and we've got ourselves 3 objective markers. The Soviets will be coming in from that side, and the West Germans will be coming in from that side. And as such, we have a chieftain turret here, being the marker for the NATO objective. We have a BMP-1 wreck, being the Soviet objective marker, and a glorious statue of a, I can't believe it's not a Space Marine statue, in the center of the town, being the main objective. And now to have a look at the deployment. The Soviets finished deploying first, but the Germans will be going first in the first turn. With that said, let's have a look at the German deployment. As you can see, it's kind of a clusterfuck because the deployment zone is kind of tight. I've got 1 Panzer Grenadier platoon over here, another one behind them, followed by the Roland flak batteries to provide air support, anti-air support for the artillery and the company commander. Supporting him, I got my Leopard 2s, and I've got some more modders over here, and the infantry dismounted in this building to cover the flanks over here. And that is pretty much it for the West Germans. No reserves on either side. Now for the big green glorious mess of the Soviet army here. We got the company commander occupying this church tower, courageous as he is, with his own BMP-2 behind him, hugging the objective. We got 7 T-72s on this side, and this big mess of 8 BMP-2s on the river, providing cover for the 2S1 Carnations and the Hinds. The recon BMP-2s made their spearhead move to move up the stream over here onto the bridge. And with that said, I think we're ready for turn 1. West German turn 1 wasn't really that eventful. I moved up my Panzer Grenadier platoon right here. The one to the left dismounted and entered these 2 buildings. The other one moved up the streets, still carrying their infantry. These modders opened fire upon the recon platoon, bailing out 2 of the BMPs. The infantry platoon stayed put together with BMPs, as well as the company commander. The Leopard 2s moved up to get ready to fire. The company commander, on the other hand, you can barely see in the darkness, led an artillery strike onto the 2S1 Carnations, doing absolutely nothing but probably scaring the shit out of them, and at least I have a ranged end marker on his artillery position. And that is really it for the first German turn. Not very eventful. On to Soviet turn 1. This can be summarized in a lot of dashing. The T-72s made a dash over here. The BMP-2s on this side moved up on the street. 3 of them shot at this building, killing 2 infantry teams with their autocannons. The recon BMP-2s remounted and shot to get some payback and bail out 2 of my modders. The other BMP-2 company dashed as well. The Carnations moved out away from the ranged end marker. And the helicopters, the Hinds, tried to move up and kill the howitzers. However, they got intercepted by one of my Rolands, losing one of their helicopters. And that is it for turn 1. Everyone just getting into position. On to the second German turn, a little bit more eventful. My modders over here managed to, at least one of them managed to remount, and the combined fire between this platoon and that one managed to bail out all three of the recon BMPs. Didn't manage to kill anyone though. This infantry platoon dismounted, made a dash and tried to enter this building but failed. The Milan teams from this platoon and this platoon opened fire upon the BMPs over there. The helicopter was brought down by the company commander's modder. The Leopard 2s managed to land a couple of shots against the T-72s, bailing one and killing 3 of them. Now, for the glorious carnage of the BMPs. 3 of them got killed by the Milan teams. One of the infantry teams didn't manage to make it out. Then an artillery strike was landed upon them, killing another team. Almost killing the battalion commander, but I failed my firepower test of 2+ to get through the bulletproof cover. But I still say that's pretty good. They're at least pinned down and 3 of his BMPs are out. Now on to the Soviet turn 2. Soviet turn 2. Apart from the infantry and the artillery being a little bit retarded, I'd say this actually went pretty well for them. The T-72s over here moved up a little bit to take cover behind their dead comrades, morbid as it is, opening fire upon the Leopards, actually killing one of them. The infantry from this remaining BMP platoon dismounted and tried to enter this building, but opening doors are difficult, or they just don't know how to search a building, and failed to enter it. The last surviving BMP actually failed his morale test, even though his battalion commander is right next to him. It really does take a fool to be a coward in the Red Army. The 2S1 Carnations had to back off a little bit because they had ended up way too close to that building to be able to fire. And speaking of that building, this infantry from this platoon dismounted and tried to enter it, same result as the other guys. However, the combined fire from these 2 BMPs and this recon BMP killed 2 of the modders and bailed out one of them. 2 of the recon are still bailed out. And things are kind of heating up right now. The center is definitely not doing all too well for me right now, but I still have a fairly decent grip on the situation. West German turn 3 was kind of a disappointment, kind of not. One of these mortars failed to remount, and that last one over there decided to fuck off. However, the combined fire from these guys and these guys did absolutely nothing more than bail out one of the BMPs in the close combat and managed to kill another one, which is kind of impressive when you got 5 teams and against 3 bailed out BMPs. Regardless, the teams in this building tried to fire against the BMP right here, failed. The 3 dead ones were caused by these modders shot in the rear. These infantrymen opened fire with the Milans against the T-72s, bailing out one of them. 3 more get bailed out. Sorry, 2 more get bailed out by the Leopards over here. So now there's 1 functioning remaining. I get a little bit cocky with the company commander trying to lead an artillery strike right back where the old one was to kill the company commander, or the battalion commander's BMP and a Carnation, but I failed on all 3 of them. So that is pretty miserable. And that's it for the West German turn 3. The Soviet turn 3 took a unexpected turn to say the least. The T-72s opened fire with 4 shots and killed one of the Leopards. The infantry that tried to go in over here moved up and killed 2 infantry teams. Sorry, 1 infantry team in this building. These guys moved up and butchered all these poor infantrymen in the river, whilst the BMPs backed up and shot out one of the modders and bailing the other 2. And the indirect fire, the artillery landed over here, killing 1 team from that infantry. And as you can see, that did cause a lot of pain. I am running really low on modders right now, and infantry at that. And he is also taking the center of the table. I am not sure if I can really recover from this all too well. The West German turn 4 keeps proving how the dice gods hate me. This mortar section over here failed its morale, with the last one actually being able to remount and fucked off. Same thing for the Leopard over here, he lost his morale. So right now my right flank is completely exposed, and the left flank isn't really anything to cheer on either, because I've got 2 teams left. I did split their fire, so the Milan team killed one of the BMPs. The MG3 team killed the last team on this side, whilst the rest of them got killed by the Marauders opening fire with their machine guns, clearing out the central objective. An artillery strike was attempted at this unit, killing 2 of their RPG teams. And that is pretty much it. I am running very short on things to kill people with right now. These guys failed to unpin at that, so it's getting kind of annoying. Soviet turn 4. I think the only thing that saved me this turn was shit rolling, to be honest. The infantry over here moved in for the kill, however lost a lot of colonies in return. I did lose the building, but they only got 2 teams left. That BMP remounted and just dashed out of there. The T-72s moved up to shoot the flank of the Marauders together with the BMP, the battalion commander's BMP at that, and they all missed, so that's beautiful. And an artillery strike was attempted at this building, however they did not cause any damage. And now we're kind of turning into the end game here. I think I've lost the majority of my companies, or my platoons, so to speak. But we'll see if I can make a command check. West German turn 5, the madness continues. The company commander's martyr moved up and took a shot at the last recon BMP, bailing him out. The Rolands moved up here to definitely not be a meat shield should it need it. The Milan teams in this platoon killed 2 of the T-72s. The MG3 teams killed 1 of the remaining infantry over there. And I kind of went for the throat on this one. I moved up my martyrs, opened fire with the autocannons against the company commander or the battalion commander and killed him just in the nick of time. Now, I don't know exactly how much is left of the Soviet forces, so we're gonna have a head count of that soon, but I did manage to make my company morale. And I'll get right back with the Soviet turn 5. Alright, back with the endgame, we did the head count. The Soviet player has lost. This is because of the fact that his infantry platoon, well, the one team that remained, ran away, as did his recon BMP. And as such, he only has 2 tanks, 3 artillery pieces, and 1 BMP left in the fight. Which is kind of funny because I was incredibly sure that I was going to lose this, but I guess I just barely managed to whip out a victory. And that's it, a West German victory.
Now to have a look at the game in hindsight, I think the basic game plan that at least I had as a West German player was kind of solid. I tried to keep 1 platoon to defend the main objective, my own main objective, as well as defending my artillery position and the company commander. I think that worked pretty well, having the missile teams in that tall building to be able to take care of any eventual tanks that go around the flank, and try to make a push with the rest of my infantry teams on the left. I tried to use my Leopard 2s to cover my right flank since I knew that was a little bit more open than the left flank was. And it was really a disappointment. I don't know if I've ever seen Leopard 2s perform that poorly, and they got killed way too early. I guess you shouldn't complain because they did stop his T-72 company from wreaking havoc upon my teams. But in the end, they didn't kill enough, but they did slow him down, so I guess that's a win. My mortars on the left flank did underperform like hell, as well did my infantry. And I think that was just down to poor dice rolling, and I think I was a bit overconfident with just dashing out and trying to destroy the recon BMPs with my infantry since I got outflanked by the Soviet infantry. I think the Soviet player did make a mistake in the beginning when they lost a lot of BMPs right then and there, because the infantry should have kept up the advance instead of trying to enter the buildings across the square. And as you can see, he kind of made that decision, but maybe a little bit too late. He lost a lot of BMPs because of that. And he did manage to take the town square, even though I managed to clear it out later. I think, as I said, he could have benefited a lot more by just pressing the attack. And I also think the misuse of the carnations kind of hurt him a lot, because in the beginning I can understand that he tried to move away from the ranged end marker. But he ended up being way too close to the building, so he couldn't fire, and that was at least 2 or 3 turns moving back and forth that he couldn't use his artillery. Of course, losing your artillery is bad, but not being able to use it is almost as bad. I would have rather taken my chances and kept firing, because that would probably hammer down my infantry a lot, allowing him the opportunity to make a more decisive strike. With that said, I think the armies, or well, the composition of the armies worked quite well for both of us, really. The combined tanks and mechanized parts. It's also kind of iffy. I mean, you usually end up having to trade off like your anti-air capabilities or your urban combat capabilities if you have too many tanks, and so on and so forth. but I think it actually worked out quite well for both of us, if you just don't think about the horrible dice rolling that occurred. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you around next time. Have a good one.